Hello everyone, it's Sheila back again. Welcome to my channel. I'm just sitting having a well-earned rest, doing a little bit more of Tommy's cardigan. I've done the back and one of the fronts, and I've put a tutorial up for the parts that I've done, but I'm doing a sleeve now so that I can put the a bit more tutorial up for the sleeve. And then anybody who's waiting for the rest of the tutorial is going to have to wait until I finish all the pieces before I show the neckband and the button and the buttonhole bands. But I've been busy in my garden today. I have a few things done while we have some good weather. I don't think we're getting any rain lately, but it has turned rather dark this afternoon. And I hope it's not going to rain. I've got 3 full lines of washing out in my garden. If it does, I'm going to have to dash. It took me ages to pin it all out because I don't do my washing regularly. I just do it when I've got a load of everything. And I had 3 loads, that's why I've got 3 lines. 3 lines of light things and a line of dark things and a line of mixed things. And so I'm looking out my window now and it seems to be getting very dark, but the app on my phone doesn't see rain. It's supposed to get dark about 8 o'clock according to the cloud things on my phone, but it's looking a bit suspicious at the moment. But anyway, I've been doing a little bit of work in my garden, digging up my onions and some beetroot, peas and lettuce I think I had. I'm going to show you a little bit of a video of what I was doing anyway. Well, that's my work today. All my onions dug up. Little bit beetroot as well to help bit space between for the other ones to help them separate, and there's my potatoes there. Even had lettuce. All the lettuce had gone to seed, but there was one. And my peas. Don't think I'll get any more off the peas. I think that's probably it. And the onions. They're those flat ones like the Stuttgarter. I don't like those ones. I like the globe ones. This was a pack I bought in Aldi's. Can't remember what they call them, but I know I'll not to get them ones again. I think I've still got the packet in my outhouse somewhere. But I don't like those ones because you don't get as much because they're flat. Good sized peas. Look at the colour of my hands as well. So you can tell I've been working in the garden with my nails. I'll never get all that muck out my nails before I start me knitting. And one little lettuce. I was going to plant some more, but that one will do. I might put a few more in. I might get a few lettuce out before the growing season stops. Same, and there's my other potatoes over that side. There's an awful lot of weeds coming in under the fence. I put weed killer on them not long ago. It doesn't seem to have worked. Oh well, that's another job for another day. Now, going in, going to wash my hands, make myself a cup of coffee and sit down and do a bit of knitting. And I came in after I had been doing all that in the garden. It took me ages to scrub all the soil out of my nails. My hands were scruffy. I couldn't get the muck off them. I was using the nail brush and even my nails still don't look as, you know, as white as what they normally do. But they're clean. They've been scrubbed and scrubbed and scrubbed. I'm going to get them any cleaner. A few more washes they will do, washing the dishes and things like that. Helps to clean them more. But that was hard work getting the things out of my garden. And I just pulled a few of the beetroot out because I never thinned the beetroot out, and there's a lot of them grown and they needed a little bit more room, so I pulled the biggest ones out. And then I'll boil them and pickle them and My peas, I'll shell them and put them in my freezer. Got quite a lot. That was a bucket full. And doubt whether I'll get, I think there's one or two more, because I think I had 3 rows of peas, but I think the last row I put in after the other 2. So a lot of the pods on them weren't filled out yet. So I may get a few more, but there'll be nothing more of the rest. I'll leave the one on the very top, the top of the plant, because once you take all of them off, it stops them growing. But if you leave one at the very top of the plant, that makes it so that the rest of the plant keeps on growing. But I still don't think I'm going to get any more. It's getting a bit late in the year. We're nearly into September now, and that's probably all I'll get out of them. But I was telling you yesterday about my knitting needles. These knitting needles that this is Daggery's cardigan that I'm doing. And about these 4mm knitting needles that I don't think are 4mm, I think they're 4.25. And I was thinking these were a mistake in the thing, but I don't think they were. I think these are an American size 4mm, and because I went on my phone, I looked up, I'll read to you what I found out about these four. There's no such thing as 4.25mm needles. And it says, since there are considerable differences in knitters' terminology for yarns and needle sizes throughout the world, I thought it might be handy to make these tables available. And there's a table for all the different sizes in metric in Japan and in the US and other places. But it had here, the needle conversions are to the nearest 0.25mm. Says, for instance, the US size 6 needles are actually 4.25mm. But since there is no metric needle size 4.25mm, the closest size, they're called 4mm. That is the best equivalent. Since you should always check your gauge before commencing your garment, this shouldn't cause any problems. And I think that's what's happened with these needles. These were the very first millimetre needle ones that I bought, and I think they were meant for the United States. I think it was their old size 6. I don't know whether they still use size 6 or whether they just use the millimetre now, but as there was no 4.25, they just called them 4mm, and that's why I've got a larger 4mm needle than anybody else in the UK. I think the needles must have been manufactured in this country and maybe were meant for the United States, but I managed to somehow get a pair of them, or else they were mixed up with the UK ones, because our UK size 8 is actual 4mm. So that was a little bit information I looked up on my phone to just because I kept thinking, see, those needles cannot be wrong, you know, there cannot be a mistake, and I don't think they were. So that's a little bit information that anybody might not have known about, because I never knew there wasn't a 4.25mm needle. I just thought I'd just never ever been able to buy any, because it is 225. There's 325, so why is there not a 425? Yeah, well, in the United States, they have some sizes that we don't have, like the 250 and the 350. But us in the UK have some sizes that the United States don't have. Like, I don't think they have the 325 or the 375. They go from 3mm to 350mm. So the sizes, I have got a few needles. I've got some American sizes as well as English sizes. So I've got all those sizes that the 350 and the 250 that they have in the United States. I have those ones as well, and it's handy having those extra sizes. And then when I looked in here on the Japanese, they've got even different sizes altogether to us, if I can get up to it. Yeah, there's a Japanese needle size there. Their size 8, which is our English ones, is 4.5mm. And the 3mm is size 3. They have all different sizes, and this is a good thing I'm looking on. Actually, it tells you all the, I think that in the United States they have what's called worsted weight, which we don't have. And I think the worsted weight is slightly thicker than double knitting. I'm not absolutely certain, but I think the worsted weight is a little bit thicker. Maybe that's why they have 4.25mm needles instead of just ordinary 4mm. But anyway, that's just a little bit of information. I was putting things right and saying that my needles probably aren't a mistake. But they're knitting up very well. I'm using them on this pure wool that I'm doing for Daggery. And the pattern, the wool label actually said 4.5mm needles. And I tried the 4.5 and I thought the stitch was too big, but don't know whether you can see it very well, but it looks okay to me that doing them on the 4.25. That's what I'm going to call these needles. I'm going to write on the back in some of that indelible ink stuff. I'm going to write 4.25 on the back of these needles. So you can see it looks, the stitches aren't too big for the wool, because the wool is quite fine actually. It's very fine actually, but it knits up very well like double knitting. It is double knitting, you know. And so that's, anyway, that's part of the back I've got of Daggery's cardigan. I'll be doing a bit more of that tonight, but I'm doing a little bit of Tommy's today, which is what I'm doing. A little bit of my own during the day and my orders of a night time. And I'll probably have more orders after these ones to do. So I need to make time for myself, or I'd never get anything knitted for my own family or even for myself. So that's my little bit for today. So give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll let you see how I get on with anything else. So bye for now.